First thing I'd like to say is thank you for viewing this video, and if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe. I'm pretty sure that I have more things that you'll be interested in, and it doesn't hurt to like the video, and it does help the channel out. It helps us grow. Now let's move on to our scheduled program. What's up? This is BBN Jack Frost speaking. Right now, I'm bringing you the hardwood, but it's the NBA Finals, so 2017 edition. All right, so this is after Game 3, and obviously we see that Cleveland Cavaliers is absolutely no match for the Golden State Warriors. Last night, the refs even tried to help them out, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, they made as many bad calls that you could make. Okay, this is the difference between a good team and a bad team. The difference between a good team and a bad team is a good team, well, a bad team is gonna, make a lot of mistakes, right? And there'll be a lot of areas that if the refs felt so, they can just call different calls against the bad team. They could also not call the calls, but they can make calls against the bad team because they have so many bad habits. That's basically what it breaks down to. When you see a team consistently get bad calls against them, it's usually because they, as a team, have a lot of bad habits. Last night, Zaza Pachulia, he was getting calls against him consistently. And he was just doing crazy stuff. It was like Cleveland had him on the payroll. And then what did the Warriors do? The Warriors just took the nigga out the game. Stop playing him. That's it. Look, you got to sit down. We don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You got to sit down. We'll get back to you later. All right, you're just gonna have to hold this ring after after this series. You have to be satisfied with this ring. How about that? So that's what the Warriors did. That's what a Warriors is a great team, but that's basically what a good team does. A good team makes sure that they put a product out on the court or out on the floor or out on the field or wherever the game is being played at that have players that commit the least amount of egregious errors. Now, just because somebody is making errors or looking a little weird, that doesn't necessarily mean that they created a foul or they've walked or they've traveled or whatever the case it is. But when you have players that you can make these calls against, and let's say the refs just decide that's what they're looking for, then they can make these calls. You understand? Okay, I'm going to explain one more thing before I go any further. This is how the NBA works. Before the game, the league gets together with the referees, especially before the finals or playoff games. But basically, the referees all get a call from the league, and the league tell them what they want them to cut down on. That's what they do. And then these are the things that the referees go into the game specifically looking for. These are the things that the referees go into the game specifically looking to make calls against. That's just the way it works. So now, when the game takes place, these are the egregious errors or the errors or whatever the case it is that the refs are specifically looking to call. Now, how does the league figure out what they want the guys to look after? Right? Exactly. Obviously, the league has invested interest on who wins the game and who loses the game. I don't see them telling people to look out for that travel that LeBron does before he puts the ball down. Now, I'm not trying to hate on LeBron, but he does do this. I'm not hearing them saying that to look for the double dribble that Steph Curry does occasionally when he's trying to fake the guy out to drive on him like he's going to shoot the three. I don't hear them looking out for that. There are reasons for this. Anyway, so I say all of this to say the league has a problem. All right, bear with me, y'all. Don't leave so quick. Bear with me. There's a couple of points I'm going to hit on real quick. But the league has a problem. And one of the main problems that the league have is who's going to beat Golden State. They're going to literally have to either change the rules or they're going to have to figure out a way to create more than one other super team. You heard me right. They have to figure out a way to create more than one other super team. They need a super team in the West and they need a super team in the East. What I think they might plan on doing is Chris Paul is 100% going to the San Antonio Spurs next year. That's what's going to happen. San Antonio Spurs is going to get Chris Paul. Also, look for them to get at least one other player, probably a center, a highly coachable center, because you can't go play for the San Antonio Spurs unless you're coachable. That's the problem in which they have when they picked up homeboy from Portland, DeMarcus Aldridge, Marcus Aldridge. That's the problem that they picked up when they got him. That's basically, he's a really good player, but he's not coachable. He also shies away from the limelight. You can't be in the finals shying away from the limelight and you're the number one player on your team because the other guy gets injured. That's crazy. But yeah. So before the games, the league office calls the refs and tell the refs specifically what they're looking for to be called. Now the refs don't got no choice. The refs have to make these calls. Because if the refs don't make these calls that they're specifically saying that they're looking for them to make, you're not reffing next game. Your refereeing days are numbered. Your boss tells you that he wants you to do one thing specifically, and then instead of doing that specific thing that he's asking for you to do, you decide to do the opposite of doing that specific thing and do something else. Your days are numbered. I don't care what job you at. So you got to look at it like that. Okay, I'm not saying that is rigged. I'm not saying that is rigged. So for everybody saying that, if that's the conclusion you come to from the information that I give you, then that's your business. Okay, so they have to create two super teams. One in the West, because they have to make the Golden State Warriors tired and fatigued before they get to the finals. And they need one in the East to beat them. See now, this is where the problem comes from. LeBron James, as much as everybody loves him and everybody wants to play with him and this and that, LeBron James doesn't want any more superstars on his team, because he get another superstar on his team, and then even if he wins, he's not winning. You understand? Oh, you needed to go get this guy in order to beat that team. You understand? So that's big issue. Think about the people that LeBron James added. Think about the people that he added in 2016, 2017 season. He didn't add any superstars. He added guys that were that good at what they do. He added Kyle Korver, a really good shooter. He went and got another guy that at one point he was, perceived to be one of the best point guards in the league. It was argued who was better, him or Chris Paul, and Darren Williams. That's what he added. There was that one point where they was like, "Oh, you might get traded to Cleveland," and then LeBron James specifically said that he did not want Carmelo Anthony traded to the team. They needed a ball handler. Remember? Right now, LeBron James is thinking about legacy. He wants to catch Michael. It's about legacy. He wants to be considered the best basketball player. He's not. I personally think Magic is better than him. I personally think Bird is better than him. Now, that's not a knock for somebody to think that those two guys, and of course Michael Jordan, is better than him. That's not a knock. I think Kareem is better than him. That's not a knock. These guys are great players. These guys are great players. And the best at their respective positions. That's the thing that kills me when people talk about LeBron James and people get upset if you say anybody is better than him. First of all, at the end of the game, LeBron James most of the time has to defer. Because he can't shoot at the end of the game. Beginning of the game, he'll knock down damn near every three, it seems like, right? At the end of the game, the rim looked like a thimble and the basketball feel like a brick. So what you gonna do? So this is how LeBron James created his issue and his problem. When the Boston Celtics made their super team, there was trades. I think the only free agent was Ray Allen a free agent? Ray Allen could have been a free agent, but everybody else was trades or draft picks. Right? Rajon Rondo, draft pick. Paul Pierce, draft pick. Kevin Garnett, trade. Only person I think that was I'm not sure if he was traded or not at this point, or if it was free agency, is Ray Allen. Big Baby Davis, even though, whatever, nigga. He was a draft pick. Everybody was draft picks. So then LeBron couldn't beat them. So what did he do? And he only tried to beat them like 2 years. 2 years he couldn't beat them. You know, Michael Jordan was held out of the freaking finals, or he wasn't ready for the finals for quite some time. But Michael Jordan didn't make it to the finals until like his sixth, seventh year in the league or something like that. Wait, he came in 84, 85, 86, 87. He went in 90, 91. So whatever that is, like about six years. LeBron James gets stopped by the Boston 2 years in a row. Not only does he then change teams and go to somewhere where he could get more backup, but then on top of that, he goes and recruits one of the people from the team that he couldn't beat. Now, if that's not some slimy, grimy, stab you in the back, I don't know what is. I don't consider that competitive. Oh man, I can't beat that team, so I'm going to go to another team that has better players than the team I'm currently on. And on top of that, I'm going to go recruit one of the guys from the team that I couldn't beat to come play with me. So I'm not just going to go somewhere to make myself be on a better team than them, but I'm also going to take away some of the value from their team and make my team better in the process. I mean, hey, that's a good business decision. Don't get me wrong, but this is sports. So when you start talking about LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, don't forget to throw that in there about how he couldn't beat a team, so he had to go recruit a player from the team he couldn't beat. Don't forget to throw that in there. How about that? So, just so we clear, what happens? LeBron James then, after he gets his rings and he's tired of Miami, goes back to Cleveland, which is, commendable. Let's not knock him for that. That's commendable. He figured out how to win, and then after he figured out how to win, he went back home so he could bring his ring to his hometown. That's commendable. There's nothing wrong with that. That's something to give him praise for, right? But you notice he didn't bring Ray Allen with him. Why? Because Boston was still no longer a threat. Ray Allen could still play. You see how good shape that dude is in? Something wrong with him. He stay in shape. He could have still played. He didn't bring him with him. But more importantly, what he did was he made players like Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant free agency came up, Kevin Durant specifically has said recently in an interview that LeBron James going to Miami made it easier for the other superstars in the league when their free agency comes up to choose where they want to go rather than just re-sign with the team if they were unhappy and they wanted to win. I mean, let's break another thing down. For everybody mad at Kevin Durant, look at what OKC was doing. They were so busy trying to cut payroll that they was making themselves, not a contender. Like, yeah, you have Westbrook and you have Durant, and you could play against teams and get lots of wins with those guys. But unless you give them help, you're not going to go to the finals again. The biggest thing that they did wrong was letting Harden go. That was where they made their biggest mistake. They had a choice for those who didn't know. They could either keep Harden or they could re-sign Ibaka. Now, first of all, the whole Harden thing, there was only like $6 million off or something like that. Not $6 million per year, $6 million total. So they could have kept Harden. But they don't want to pay any luxury tax. So they let Harden go. They traded. Remember they had Reggie Jackson. He was good. He was doing work for them. They let him go. Then, later on, a year or two later, they let Ibaka go. The guy that they kept in the first place, so they paid it so they couldn't keep Harden. I mean, that's crazy. Think about it like this. If the New York Knicks had all of those players, they would have just paid them and kept them. People knock the Knicks for whatever you want to knock the Knicks for, but the Knicks come up off that bread. They do. They just don't have the players that want to play for them currently that they can pay and be successful with. Or maybe when the game starts, the refs are looking for certain specific things and then calling those things. Because I lie to you not, I watch a ton of games, and it seems like every time Melo drives, somebody hits him in the head, and his headband is all wonky. The shit, nigga headband be crazy, and no foul call. Derrick Rose drives to the lane. He gets bumped on the way to the lane. He gets hit on the shot. No foul call. These things are consistent. KP goes and he tries to box out for a rebound, and they literally push him like they moving a shopping cart. No foul call. I watch the Knicks. So for a lot of people, if y'all want to start arguing this and that about the Knicks and this and that about the Knicks, I got footage. All right, this happens. No fouls are called. The Knicks start going on a run. All of a sudden, there's some kind of weird travel calls against them, and ticky-tack fouls go against the Knicks. And I'm saying all of this to say, you have an organization like OKC who are in a good position to be successful, but decided that they didn't want to spend any money. And due to the fact that they didn't want to spend any money, they made it so the best they can do is go deep into the playoffs and not necessarily win anything. That's why Kevin Durant left. Now, if you're going to leave a team to go to another team, just to be perfectly honest with you, what kind of team are you going to go to? You're going to leave a really, really good team to go to a team that's worse? That don't make no sense. So how many other teams in the league was actually better than OKC that he could have went to? San Antonio, Cleveland Cavaliers, if that argument could be made, Golden State Warriors. If he wanted to win a championship, realistically, those are the only three teams that he should have even had on his radar. Do I like the fact that he went to Golden State and made the NBA so lopsided right now that another team winning the championship in the near future is just crazy? Like, if another team win right now in the near future, it's just going to be so mind-boggling. There's going to be millions of NBA fans' heads exploding around the world. These guys have the squad. Literally, somebody is going to have to get injured. And I'm not wanting anybody to get injured, and I'm not hoping anybody gets injured, but I'm just saying, come on, we all know, in order for them to make it, another team to win the championship, somebody on their team is going to have to get injured. We know that. Only thing I could think of is, isn't Klay Thompson up for free agency? But that don't even matter, because you could transplant Klay Thompson with somebody else who's a really good defender at the 2, and it'll still be the same issue. You could put Courtney Lee there. Literally, Courtney Lee. He's a really good catch and shoot guy, and he plays defense. You could put Courtney Lee on that team in place of Klay Thompson, and you'll still get the same results, because it won't matter because of their floor spacing. I know a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but Klay Thompson is a splash brother, and he's one of the best shooters ever in the history of the NBA, and he scores this many points and that many times. Well, yeah, if the guy gets hot and you keep feeding him, that's what's going to happen. That's why some teams win and some teams lose. Some teams get a guy hot and feed him. Other teams get a guy hot and then forget about him because, he got enough points. We're going to go in another direction. That's not winning basketball. Not at all. That's the furthest thing from. So, basically, Kevin Garnett decides to go to the Golden State Warriors because, look, LeBron did the same thing and everybody loved him. I mean, they hated him when he did it initially, but, now everybody's done forgot. They love him. I want to get a ring. I'm tired of hearing about how I'm a failure because I don't got a ring. About since I can't get a ring, this negative thing. Because I don't got a ring, that negative thing. It's all BS. You know what? I'm going to go get a ring. And then after that, y'all can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Not only that, I really am one of the best players in the league. So it's not like I'm going to a team and I'm going to be riding anybody's coattail. Whatever team I go to, I'm going to be on the forefront. So it don't even matter. So he goes to Golden State. He makes Golden State damn near unstoppable. Now it looks like they're going to go through the whole entire playoffs without losing one game. Did they lose a game? I don't think they lost a game. And LeBron is back at step A. Or step 1 or whatever the hell. Now he has to figure out a way to make his team better. But he has to bring on another superstar. Because he's not going to be able to reach the caliber of Golden State without another superstar, no matter what he thinks. And he's at his ceiling. That's another thing that people don't understand. LeBron is at his ceiling. He's at his ceiling. LeBron isn't going to come back next year and be a better player. The only thing LeBron could do right now is stay at the level that he's at, which is a great player. LeBron is a great player. I'm not trying to knock him for that. But what I'm saying is he's at his ceiling. Kyrie Irving, as great as that guy is freaking unbelievable. He's at his ceiling. Love is on the way down from his ceiling. Those are the 3 best players. You know who I didn't hear a lot last night in the game? Tristan Thompson, whatever the fuck his name is. Where he's at? He doesn't seem to be very effective. Is he a rebound defense guy? Right? Hasn't been very effective. Now, if I want to talk about X and O's with you, I could say, well, it looks like Cleveland Cavaliers need to try to get the mismatch on Curry on LeBron more often, or Curry on Kyrie more often, and they just wasn't trying to go for the mismatch. Actually, there was one point in the game, late in the game, where J.R. Smith was going to bring the mismatch so they could switch and get Curry on Kyrie. Of course, Kyrie currently had Klay Thompson on him, and Kyrie waved him off. He didn't want the switch. He should have took the switch. Klay Thompson is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Why would you want him on you rather than a guy that you kill on a regular basis? So this is just basketball IQ and hubris. I'm going to say hubris because Kyrie is pretty smart. His basketball IQ is pretty high. I'm going to call it hubris. How about that? This is a sweep. I was thinking it might go 6. It might still go 5. Because this was the game that the refs tried to give them. Cleveland could still just flat out win one game. I think that Cleveland could just flat out win one game. That there will be that one game that Golden State is just not going to be on. And Cleveland can win. Flat out one game. This was the game the refs tried to give them. And Golden State was just too good. It's a shame. Yo, look, leave y'all comments below. I want to know what y'all think about this. I want to know what y'all think about. And the thing that I just told you about the refs, how the league office calls the refs and tell the refs what they want them to look for, that's fact. I'm not making nothing up. That's fact. I want to know what y'all think about that specifically. Like, is that really what they should be doing? Because that sounds like that's kind of telling the refs who you want to win. If you go in there and you tell the refs, you know, I want you to look for this, and that, this, and that for one team. And then for the other team or players on the other team, you're not really talking about anything you want them to look for. That's kind of putting weights on one side of the scale. Anyway, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Holla at your boy. That's all I got for you. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.